Right, so this video is going to give you an overview of the Autowebinar system. Now, something important to note is that this system is still in beta. Like, while everything that's here should work fine, there's a lot of features on our to be added list. Now, these should be coming along, hopefully in the next few weeks. What you've got at the moment is a solid system for running just-in-time webinars, so the kind where whenever your prospect arrives on the page, the timer always has a few minutes to go, so the urgency to get them to sign up is really high. So let's run through setting up an Autowebinar. First of all, to access, go to Campaigns up here, and then click Autowebinars in the left-hand menu. As you can see, we don't have any here at the moment, so we'll click on Create New up here. And we'll give it a name. And choose the domain we want to use, and this will now generate our entire Autowebinar funnel. Now, this is using a set of templates which have been designed especially for Autowebinars. Currently we've just got the one template set in here, but we will be providing more in the future. So you can see this has created every page. Now, this funnel screen is a bit different to what you see in the other area of Convertri because Autowebinar funnels tend to be far more linear. So what I'm going to do is add a page path in here for each page. And you can put anything you want in here, and Convertri will tell you if the path has already been taken. Now, to adjust the pages, you can mouse over the page card and you see we get an Edit Page button. So click that and you'll be taken into the page editor. So this is our registration page, and the editor works almost exactly the same as the usual Convertri editor. So while you've got the template here, you can change it up however you want. So if you don't want a video, you can just delete it. We'll shift that up. You can maybe stick a graphic or something in the space here. You can adjust it any way you want. Now, there's two main ways the Autowebinar editor is different from the main Convertri one. The first is that some elements are required on certain pages, and that means while you can change them up however you want, you can't delete them. So on the registration page, you can't delete the countdown timer, and on the webinar page and the replay page, you can't delete the video element because, there's no point in someone going to watch a webinar and there not being anywhere for them to watch it. And the second way that this editor is different is that in Autowebinars you can set countdown timers across the whole funnel. So this timer here, we've got that set to restart every 5 minutes. What this means is that it'll count down to the nearest 5 minutes, so if your viewer arrives on the page at 10:46, it'll count down to 10:50. If your viewer arrives at 11:23, it'll count down to 11:25. If the viewer is on the page when the timer expires, it'll just stay at 0. And you can also set a delay here. This is basically how long the cookie is kept for, so if you've got a delay of 10 minutes, if your viewer refreshes the page within 10 minutes of the timer ending, they'll still see it at 0 rather than see it start counting again. You can choose from a range of available times here, and if you set it to once or twice per day, you can choose which points of the day it'll count down to. You'll also see a master timer toggle here. Now, when this is switched on, any timers in this funnel set to be slave timers will base their cookies on this one. This means if you've got a timer on the thank you page that's also counting down to when the webinar starts, you can make sure it's always tied to this one, giving your viewer a true live experience. So now we've set the timer, we're going to set up the form, so that when someone registers for your Autowebinar, they get signed up to your autoresponder list. Now, this will let you send out follow-up sequences to encourage people to watch your replay and take your offer. And this works just like it does everywhere else in Convertri. So we'll attach the form here. I'm not going to talk through all the details of this bit, but you'll find links below this video to a range of guides on setting up forms, setting up the product and so on. So all the missing pieces should be covered. But we'll get our form in, we'll add the list and set the field types. You can see that here, Convertri has automatically filled in the URL that you gave to your thank you page, so it knows where you probably want people to go after they leave this page. This is just a default, you can change it if you want, but if that's correct, you can just hit done. You can also see the field types of your input boxes are automatically set in this template. If you add any extra fields here, you can set the field type here as usual. And finally, we'll check out the mobile view. Because we deleted the video, there is a space here which will fill by holding Shift and dragging this element up, so everything below moves with it. And now we'll publish, and again, Convertri's also filled the publish path with what we entered in the funnel builder, so we can just hit publish. And there's our first page live. Now if we go back to the funnel planner, you can see the indicator here has changed to published, so we know that page is live. If we go back in, change something, save and exit, then you'll see it now says requires republish. This is basically to show you that the page is live, but it's not the most up-to-date version, so you need to republish to see your changes. Now I'm not going to make you watch me set the whole thing up, since that's basically just doing more of the same on all the other pages, and that's not a very interesting thing to watch, but there are a few important points. In the webinar page, you can attach your webinar to the video element by going to Video Properties in the Properties panel and adding the URL here. We recommend S3 for the hosting. It's probably the best option for large file hosting out there, and we've got a guide on how to set it up. That's also linked below this video. On your checkout button, you can add the link to your checkout page. This can be the checkout page from this funnel, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Like if you want to use a different system or maybe something like Thrivecart, then just stick the link to your external checkout page in here. And finally, on the replay page, you can set a hard expiry date by setting the time on your timer, setting the expiry function to redirect page, and then adding the URL of wherever you want people to be sent in here. And again, you can use the expiry page that's created for you in this funnel, or you can use anything else, like we are not locking you into the system. And that is the system so far. We're in the process of developing a lot more stuff for this, but do try it out and let us know what you need to make this the best Autowebinar system for you. I mean, the best part of beta is that you get to actually influence the development, so please do that. Happy selling.